Jamie Dimon says JPMorgan is the biggest user of blockchain. What? That sounds ridiculous. And Congressman Tom Emmer and Patrick McHenry are going after Gary Gensler and the SEC regarding crypto airdrops. And Donald Trump's new crypto project, we have all the details, so I want to share that with you. And SUI has a major integration with the USDC stablecoin. Let's break it down. Welcome to the Thinking Crypto podcast. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as a thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, let's start by taking a look at the price of Bitcoin. Today, it surged past $60,000 once again, so a good sign. However, I am cautiously optimistic because as I've been telling you guys, any week where you have a Fed announcement, an FOMC meeting, there's a lot of volatility. So this could easily roll over and dump tomorrow or Thursday. Honestly, I'm waiting till next week to see what the market does after the dust has settled. And we are expecting the Fed to start cutting rates. We're going to hear if it's 25 basis points or 50 basis points. And I think this is bullish for the market, but there could be some short-term volatility before we find the bottom. As I've been telling you guys, seasonality-wise, September has been very red and bad for markets, but October, the start of Q4, has been very good. So we could possibly see a bit more volatility, maybe a bit more downside until we hit October where things start to move. But if tomorrow the markets start moving really strong based on dovish news from the Fed and maybe a 50 basis point cut, things could start kicking off. But I'm going to go with history and what history has shown us. And this is just the short term macro. Guys, I am so bullish. I am so bullish. I've been sharing with you guys. Liquidity is on the rise globally. Even in the United States, the M2 money supply is up. They're going to cut rates, obviously, and they're going to start printing. So all of this will drive asset prices higher. So let's see what happens tomorrow with the Fed. And hopefully we get some very good news. Now, moving ahead, Congressman Tom Emmer tweeted out today, the future of the peer-to-peer digital economy cannot be left to the authoritarian whims of Gary Gensler. Today, Patrick McHenry and I are requesting answers from the SEC on their position that airdrops are securities transactions. Now, the SEC, of course, is trying to classify that airdrops are securities, which is nonsense because if you didn't invest in them and you're just getting them, they should not be securities. And this is why we need clear legislation. We need clarity on all the different facets and aspects of the crypto market, whether it be DeFi, NFTs, airdrops, and all these things, so that entrepreneurs, investors can know what we're working with here. What are the guardrails? But right now, we don't have that. And Gary Gensler is making it up as he goes. As I've been saying for a long time, he's a scumbag. He's here to kill the crypto startups, kill many of these companies that are challenging the big banks, the TradFi incumbents, right? That's the game. But it's not to kill crypto. I want you to understand that. And we're going to talk about JPMorgan and blockchain later in the podcast. But great to see that Tom Emmer is doing this. And this is a bit of setting the stage for the hearing that's coming up next week where Gensler will appear before the folks in Congress. There's two hearings, one where Gensler is going to be by himself, and the next will be where all 5 commissioners, including Gensler, will appear together. Next week is going to be very interesting, folks. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, we got some positive signs about getting crypto legislation through the Senate because we already know that a crypto bill made it through the House, the FIT21. So here's the headline. U.S. lawmakers spark optimism on crypto bills gaining traction after the election season is over. So really, they can't do anything now. People are so focused on the election. There's going to be a lot of campaigning. So not much is going to get done. However, they're optimistic that after the election, they could get something done. And I think Chuck Schumer, if you recall, in the Crypto for Harris live stream town hall, he said he was ready to work on some legislation to get it through by the end of the year. So House Financial Services Committee Chair Patrick McHenry, who is retiring in January, said he believes his crypto market structure bill can gain traction at the end of the year during a panel at Georgetown University's Financial Markets Quality Conference on Tuesday. McHenry led efforts to pass a crypto market structure bill dubbed FIT21 in May that gives new jurisdiction to the CFTC over digital commodities and asserts the SEC would oversee digital assets offered as part of an investment contract. McHenry said he thinks his bill could gain momentum during the lame duck session, the time period after the election in November and before a new Congress steps in January. Here's a quote. I don't know if that happens this calendar year, McHenry said. I think there's an opportunity for it to happen in lame duck in conjunction with either an end of year spending package or NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act. So it sounds like they're going to package it into a bigger bill, which is what I've heard from many different experts, that no one bill is necessarily like crypto is going to make it through the Senate by itself. It's going to be attached to a bigger bill. He says here, but if it doesn't happen this Congress, it will happen, McHenry said. It will happen because there is momentum in both parties for clear rules of the road and keeping pace with what Europe is doing, what Japan is doing, and what Singapore is doing, and other regulators around the world. Now, remember, the FIT21 bill got support from 71 Democrats. That was a big win. And not only did the Democrats support this bill, they joined the Republicans in voting to repeal SOB 121, which is the bullshit rule from the SEC that prevents banks and big TradFi custodians from holding crypto. And that ultimately got vetoed by Gary Gensler because Elizabeth Warren made the call, of course. But, you know, the Democrats are saying this is not a hill we want to die on. This is just a technology. We're not following Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler. The problem is Elizabeth Warren has a ton of power. That's the deal she made with Biden when she dropped out of the race with the Democrat primary. Said she would endorse Biden, but he had to give her that role of overseeing the financial markets from a Democrat standpoint. So that's what's happening here. But hopefully, guys, we can get something through by the end of the year. Look, I was surprised by FIT21. No one saw that coming. No one saw 71 Democrats joining up with Republicans. And why I'm also optimistic is the spending crypto's doing. Crypto's the largest spender in this election cycle, supporting all pro-crypto candidates, both on Democrat and Republican side of the aisle. So those who are anti-crypto, we see they are already losing. They were losing on Super Tuesday in the primaries and so forth. So really great stuff here. And hopefully, guys, we can get something in, because imagine if we get something in towards the end of the year, how bullish that will be in this bull market environment. Patrick McHenry said, what we have now is a 2/3 vote of a serious piece of regulatory policy. That is the biggest vote we've gotten for anything for real consequence out of the House Financial Services Committee or the Senate Banking Committee. So let's hope they do get something through. But as Congressman McHenry said, even if it doesn't happen in the lame duck session, it's most likely going to happen in 2025, right? This thing is too big to ignore now. The spending that's taking place is going to pay off. Now, speaking of politics in crypto, Donald Trump yesterday did his Twitter Spaces where he talked about World Liberty Financial, the new crypto project that is DeFi driven. And there's a token they're launching, WLFI. Now, this is not an endorsement of this project. I'm just reporting the news to you. And it's not that this is anti-Trump. Rather, I don't know much about this project, so I can't support it. I can't say, hey, guys, go check this out, go invest. No, I'm not going to do that. I want to do my research and my homework first, and I hope you do that as well. But I want to give you the details because in addition to Trump launching this, the impact on the crypto industry is significant. So Donald Trump helped unveil a few details of his highly anticipated cryptocurrency project, World Liberty Financial, on Monday night. The Republican presidential nominee said crypto is big and yet it's a fledgling compared to what it will be. World Liberty Financial will sell a non-transferable governance token called WLFI and plans to limit the participation to accredited investors. So that's good. It's not for retail yet. It's just for accredited investors. And I know some retail are accredited, but rather it's not the masses. And usually people who are accredited know a bit more about investing. So he says, we're embracing the future with crypto and leaving the slow and outdated big banks behind. And here's some details on the token. The WLFI token will be distributed as follows. 63% will be sold to the public, 17% for user rewards, and 20% for team compensation. So that's the gist of what's happening here. I think we still need more details about how this will all function, but we have an idea now with the token and what they're trying to do. But like I said, be careful. Verify, don't trust, verify, folks. Do your research before jumping in. Once again, this is not an anti-Trump statement. This is just This is a new crypto project. I don't know who helped set it up for him, and we want to make sure they did the right thing, right, folks? That's what I'm trying to say, so you don't lose your money. And I'm praying that this thing does not have any major loopholes or pitfalls or has any major crashes, because that will be a black stain on the crypto market. I don't think it'll be as big as FTX, but it could bring a lot of negative press to the industry, if you know what I'm saying. Now, Jamie Dimon, CEO of JPMorgan Chase, said the bank is one of the biggest users of blockchain. Guys, I've talked about Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan over the years, that Jamie Dimon is a liar. He's been for years spreading FUD about Bitcoin, and that's because he wanted to take a position before retail. For the first time in history, we were able to front run these major banks and institutions to get access to this asset class. And he doesn't like that capital's leaving, those TradFi funds and investment products and going to crypto. He doesn't like that you can go directly and buy the tokens, because he and the Wall Street players have gatekeep that process, right, folks? So, but disruption is at his doorstep, and disruptive technology always wins. But we know that while Jamie was spreading FUD about Bitcoin, he was working with Consensus. The bank was working with Consensus to help build Ethereum. They also built JPM Coin, the Quorum blockchain as well, which is a hard fork of Ethereum. It's more of a private blockchain. So speaking at the Financial Markets Quality Conference today, he says we're probably one of the bigger users of blockchain, an actual user, like a real user. When he was asked about innovative technologies like blockchain and artificial intelligence, he said it's just a database. So Jamie knows the potential of this technology, and JP Morgan's been building with it. They even launched a Bitcoin wealth fund for their clients, even though publicly he's been saying a lot of bad things about Bitcoin over the years. So guys, we're going to win. We're already winning. Disruptive technology always wins. And Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan will eventually become a thing of the past. I'm not saying that they're going to completely go out of business, but disruption is here. They're going to lose market share. People are already moving towards stable coins and so forth. Now, quick word from our sponsor, and that is Gemini, which is one of the top crypto exchanges out there, folks. Gemini has a fully functional exchange and app. They have a ton of products. They have staking, they have a credit card, they have a stable coin called Gemini Dollar. They have derivatives trading where you can trade Bitcoin and all the top altcoins. And they are one of the most secure exchanges out there. They're SOC 2 compliant and much more. I've been using Gemini for years. I've had an account. I've leveraged them for different trades and so forth. So if you'd like to learn more about Gemini, visit the link in the description. If you trade $100 in Bitcoin, you can get $15 in Bitcoin. So check them out, folks. All right, now we got news that Wintermute to launch predictions market called Outcome Market, beginning with Trump and Harris tokens. So it seems like everyone wants to get into these prediction markets after Polymarket has been doing so well. And, Polymarket is crypto-based, right? It's decentralized based on blockchain. You can use crypto to bet and so forth. And Wintermute's new predictions market, Outcome Market, will launch on Ethereum, Base, and Arbitrum next week, the company said. So we're going to see a lot of competition here with predictions markets, and I think this is the future. I personally don't leverage these things, but maybe there will be something I will leverage in the future. But look, people bet. People gamble and so forth. That's part of our life and our civilization, our society, right? So it's going to become more decentralized, more of a 24/7 market, and crypto will be part of it. Now, we have very big news around Circle's USDC and SUI. Now, I personally don't hold a SUI token. It is a well-known project that's been doing well. Folks like Raoul Pal and so forth have talked about it. Well, there's a big integration. Circle tweeted out, "We're excited to announce that native USDC and cross-chain transfer protocol are coming soon to the SUI network." So USDC essentially going onto the SUI network, which is a layer 1 blockchain. And in addition, MoviePass will tap layer 1 network SUI to launch the USDC stablecoin payments. So this is pretty big from an adoption standpoint. The SUI Foundation will also take an equity stake in MoviePass as part of the arrangement, though the terms of the deal are undisclosed. So very, very big news here around USDC and SUI. And it's smart that USDC or the Circle is pushing USDC on many blockchains. That's how you build adoption. You get interoperability with many different chains. And there's more news around USDC. So Circle's USDC stablecoin becomes available in Brazil and Mexico. This is a big market which wants US dollars, right? We know a lot of Central and South America want, they transact in a lot of US dollars because their currencies, many of them are living in hyperinflation and really bad fiat currency systems. So I remember talking to Jeremy Allaire about this in our interview months back, and very, very big move here for the folks at Circle. The move allows direct conversion of Brazilian reais and Mexican pesos into USDC, omitting the need to convert the fiat currencies into US dollar. This is part of how the United States can maintain its world reserve currency dominance, but will they do it in time? Will we get stablecoin regulations and crypto legislation so we know what we're doing here? Or will they drop the ball and have the digital yuan from China and other digital currencies, come in and take over? We'll see. Final news item here: Coinbase's Base Layer 2 shatters transaction records with over 4.5 million in a single day. Coinbase did a smart move here, launching Base, and they don't have a token. It's obviously a layer 2 on Ethereum, but I have to give credit to Binance. They were the first to really think this through and launch. If you guys remember the Binance Smart Chain, right? But obviously, due to the lawsuit and things that happened, it's kind of lost some market share because of all the things that happened there. And Coinbase, though, very smart. It's generating a lot of revenue for them. So they're getting a lot of builders to come do a lot of great projects on their chain. So really, really smart move on their part. All right, guys, let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Tomorrow's a very big day, very, very big day with the Fed. There's also that SEC, hearing, not with folks, not with Gary Gensler, but just to talk about what the SEC has been doing and the nonsense they've been doing. So I'll get all the updates for you guys. So be sure to tune in tomorrow. Don't forget to sign up for my free newsletter. It's available on Substack, 100% free. And also grab a copy of my book, Rethinking Crypto. It's available on Amazon in paperback and digital. Grab a copy to support the podcast. Buy a few copies for your friends and family who want to learn about crypto. And if you bought a copy already, please leave a rating and review. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.